Do you want to get into the real estate rental income game, but don't have tens of thousands of dollars to get started? Well, thanks to crypto, you now can. If you've ever bought a house, tried to rent a place, or even just watched someone go through the process, you know the pain. A long while back, I used to work in real estate law, and trust me, it can be slow, clunky, and full of middlemen. It's paperwork on top of more paperwork, weeks of waiting for approvals, wire transfers that feel like they're being sent by a carrier pigeon. On top of that, it's not always clear for the buyers and sellers. You don't always know who owns what, what's happening behind the scenes, or if you're actually getting a fair deal. And for a lot of people, it's flat out inaccessible. You need tens of thousands of dollars just to put a deposit in to get in the game. And that's before you even start with taxes, fees, or the realtor's cuts. But here's the shift we're slowly starting to see. Blockchain, crypto, and NFTs are starting to chip away at these barriers. Instead of months of back and forth with banks and brokers, there are companies out there using smart contracts to execute instantly, transferring ownership in minutes. So today, we're going to look at how this actually works, what's real versus what's hype, and how it could affect the housing market in the future, both for buyers, sellers, and investors. So let's zoom in on where things stand right now. Because if you've read the headlines, it feels like blockchain real estate is either going to be the future of the housing market or it's just some scammy buzzword. The truth, like always, is somewhere in the middle. Let's start with the hesitation. Recent surveys shows that most Americans still don't trust crypto when it comes to property. And you can't really blame them. Real estate is already one of the most stressful, highest stakes things people can deal with in their lives. Now add in blockchain and NFTs, words most people associate with scams or overpriced monkey pictures, and it makes sense why buyers are skeptical. Reports from Barron's and Realtor.com have shown us that people are curious, but they don't quite believe in it yet. They worry about volatility, they don't know how ownership records would really hold up in court, and they don't understand how the blockchain works. This reminds us that adoption isn't just about tech, it's about trust. But here's the other side of the coin. The momentum is growing. One way the blockchain and real estate are merging is tokenized real estate, which is fractional ownership of a property through NFTs or fungible tokens. Instead of needing $50,000 for a down payment, you can buy into a property with a few $100s. Transactions are faster, settlements can happen in minutes instead of months, and ownership is recorded transparently on-chain. That lowers the barrier to entry and makes fraud a lot harder. What this means is that you don't need tens of thousands of dollars to benefit from rental properties. And this isn't just theory. We're seeing it happen in real life. In Dubai, a platform called Pripco sold out a tokenized villa worth around $575,000 in under 5 minutes, attracting 169 investors from more than 40 countries. That shows just how much demand there is globally for these kind of investments. Pripco Mint is the region's first licensed real estate tokenization platform, created in partnership with the Dubai Land Department and regulated by the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. The platform lets investors buy fractional property shares starting from less than $600, dramatically lowering the historic barriers to entry for these type of real estate investments. What sets Pripco apart is legal legitimacy. Investors receive official ownership certificates issued by the Dubai Land Department, giving their tokenized shares real registered ownership, just like traditional deeds. On top of that, all transactions and ownership records are stored immutably on the blockchain using XRP's ledger, offering auditability, transparency, and fraud protection. During its pilot, the platform managed everything digitally, from token issuance to rental income distributions, all via smart contracts, all under regulated oversight. Pripco is not just experimenting, it shows how tokenization on the blockchain, backed by government regulation, can make high-value real estate accessible, liquid, and globally reachable, without sacrificing legal clarity or investor protection. So on one side, you've got hesitation here in the US, people saying, I don't trust this, it feels sketchy. On the other, you've got global markets, especially in places like Dubai, already proving that the model works. And that's why it's so important to separate what's real, the actual use cases and growing adoption, from what's just hype. buzzwords, empty promises, or things that sound good on paper but aren't legally enforceable yet. There's another platform called Rental that is also doing this, tokenizing homes and properties so investors can buy fractional shares. And here's the kicker. Those shares can also distribute rental income back to holders. Think about it. Instead of saving for years just to buy one property to use for rental income, you can invest a few $1,000s across multiple homes, apartments, even commercial spaces, and start collecting rent instantly. It's like turning real estate into a dividend-paying stock, but with global access. This isn't just for small startups either. The Financial Times has covered tokenized real estate projects around the world, and industry forecasts estimate that tokenized assets could hit $2 trillion by 2030. This company, Rental, it's spelled rental but with two E's, is a trailblazing prop tech platform that focuses on tokenizing real estate assets to open up investment opportunities to everyday people. Founded in Spain, it lets investors join property projects starting from as little as $100, while offering liquidity through digital token trading. One of Rental's most headline-grabbing projects was when they tokenized luxury apartments on the 63rd floor of the Burj Khalifa, with a project value of roughly $7 million US. But Rental isn't just about ownership. This company is about building a full ecosystem. They launched a decentralized marketplace that lets token holders borrow against their real estate positions for instant liquidity without having to sell. Their native token, RNT, is used within the platform and is held by over 3,700 users. Tokenization adds liquidity. Real estate has always been considered an illiquid asset, hard to buy, hard to sell. But when properties are turned into tradable tokens, you suddenly create a secondary market. Of course, that comes with its own challenges. Liquidity only works if there's real demand on the other side, but the concept is game-changing. Real estate has always been locked up. You either own it or you don't. Tokenization changes that. Suddenly, someone in New York, Dubai, or Tokyo can all buy into the same property. It's also faster, cheaper, and more transparent. Instead of a mess of banks, title companies, and weeks of delays, the blockchain lets you use smart contracts, which are agreements coded right into the transaction. They're secure, automatic, and recorded on a digital ledger that can't be tampered with. That means fewer middlemen, lower costs, and way more clarity. With fractional ownership, you don't need $100,000 to get started. Platforms are opening the door for people with $100 or $500 to access high-value markets that used to be reserved for hedge funds, developers, or the ultra-wealthy. Tokenization has the potential to finally level the playing field. But here are the barriers. Regulation is still catching up. In many places, a deed recorded as an NFT is still a legal gray area. Until governments build clear frameworks, adoption will be patchy. Liquidity is not guaranteed. Yes, tokenized assets could be traded like stocks, but only if there's enough demand. Otherwise, you just own a digital fraction that you can't easily sell. Practical management is also still messy. If 10,000 people own fractions of an apartment building, who fixes the broken plumbing? Who manages the tenants? The tech doesn't solve those human and legal problems yet. And finally, risk of misuse. AP News pointed out the danger of tokenization being abused, creating products that look shiny but don't actually protect investors. Without safeguards, this could go the way of junk mortgage securities in 2008. So the takeaway here is clear. The upside is massive, but the hurdles are real. Now let's look forward. Analysts are projecting that tokenized assets could scale to $2 or even $4 trillion by 2030. That's not niche, that's a lot of money. We've already seen innovation beyond just ownership. Some developers are tokenizing income streams separately from property ownership. Imagine buying just a slice of rental income without owning the actual bricks. Others are experimenting with DeFi integrations, where property tokens can be borrowed against, staked, or used in lending protocols. And there's the rise of green real estate NFTs, projects linking sustainable buildings or eco-friendly developments to tokenization. Green real estate NFTs are basically the marriage of two popular trends: tokenized property ownership and sustainable building. Instead of just tokenizing any random building, some projects are focusing on eco-friendly developments. Things like energy-efficient homes, LEED certified office spaces, or carbon-neutral apartment complexes. These properties are then tokenized into NFTs or digital shares which investors can buy. The idea is that investors aren't just putting money into real estate investments, they're supporting sustainability goals at the same time. For example, a developer building a solar-powered housing complex could raise funds faster by selling NFTs tied to fractional ownership. Each NFT could also carry extra perks, like proof of supporting a green project or even sharing in the carbon credits the building generates. On the back end, blockchain makes it easy to track and verify environmental impact, so investors know the property is actually meeting sustainability standards. This trend is still early but is part of a bigger narrative. Real estate tokenization isn't just about money, it's about aligning investment with values. And for investors who care a lot about climate and transparency, that combination could be a powerful draw. Let's talk next about Propy, one of the earliest full-stack pioneers bringing real estate transactions into the blockchain. Propy made headlines by completing the first ever US blockchain-based real estate sale in California, and later the world's first real estate-backed NFT, both backed by legal structures like LLCs to ensure ownership and validity. Their platform has facilitated over $4 billion in real estate transactions, integrating AI-assisted title searches, smart contracts, and crypto escrow to make closings faster, more secure, and transparent. Deeds can also be recorded on-chain to guard against fraud. Rather than tokenizing fractional shares, Propy often issues whole property NFTs, linked to a US-based LLC that legally holds the property. Whoever owns the NFT controls the LLC, and by extension, the real property. They're also innovating with Propy Keys, a project enabling users to mint blockchain-based addresses for physical properties, potentially turning them into on-chain titles or collateral for DeFi loans. To give agents and buyers practical tools, Propy's platform includes a full transactional suite, offer management, document storage, automated closings, real-time tracking, all built with blockchain-powered security baked in. Most intriguingly, Propy announced a strategic partnership with Parcel, plugging real-time housing market analytics into their NFT platform, potentially giving buyers and investors better valuation tools for tokenized properties. So Propy shows us how you can go fully on-chain from listing to closing while staying grounded in legal frameworks. It shows the power of combining smart contracts, NFT ownership, and regulated structures to bring real estate into the world of crypto safely. So here's where we land when it comes to crypto and real estate. Real estate is slow, expensive, and often out of reach for everyday people. Blockchain and tokenization don't magically fix all that, but they offer a blueprint for change. Fractional ownership, smart contracts, and global access could make real estate more liquid, more transparent, and more fair than it's ever been. At the same time, regulation, liquidity, and real-world management are still massive challenges. The key for us is to separate hype from reality. Don't fall for the buzzwords, but don't ignore the quiet revolution happening either. Because whether it's in 2 years or 10 years, this technology is going to reshape the way property is bought, sold, and invested in. The people who understand it early, they won't just be spectators, they'll be participants. So as you can see, crypto isn't currently huge in real estate yet. It's not like every house on your block is being sold as an NFT, and most buyers in the US are still skeptical. But the potential is massive. From tokenized villas in Dubai, to platforms like Rental in Spain, to Propy in the US pushing entire closings on-chain, the pieces are already being built. And that's exactly why I created the Crypto Safety School. The goal isn't just to hype you up on buzzwords, it's to make sure you're not late when the shift finally tips. Think about it. When Facebook first launched, a lot of people ignored it or said, that's not for me. Same with email. Same with smartphones. Yet years later, those same people had to scramble to catch up. I don't want that for you when it comes to crypto. By taking the course, by learning now, you're putting yourself ahead of the curve. So, when the blockchain and tokenization finally do go mainstream in real estate, you'll already understand the playbook. You won't be asking, wait, how does this work? You'll be the one ready to take advantage of it. And that's the whole mission of the Crypto Safety School, to take the mystery out of crypto so you're ready when the future shows up.